Cajun Cardboard, coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with an impromptu video. This is coming out of nowhere. I had a couple free minutes during the day and thought, you know what? Tonight's a big night. The PWCC September premiere auction ends tonight. There's a bunch of absolutely outlandish cards ending tonight in the basketball hobby. Every single one of these cards would be the mountaintop for 99.9% of us collectors. Absolute true grails in the truest sense of the word, right? Not the liberal sense of the word grail, but these are legitimate grail type cards. I wanted to look at the auction. There's about 9 minutes and 48 seconds remaining. If I switch you guys over here to the PWCCmarketplace.com website, you can see 9 hours and 47 minutes remaining. So if you haven't gotten your bids in to enter extended bidding, we're only going to look at the top 12. I don't have all day. I'm just going to put this little short video out there to look at some of the quality stuff that's in the top 12. I know a lot of people do these watch shows, so I'll let those guys do stuff in a great deal more detail. I was going to just jump on here and take a quick look anyway, so I figured why not hit record and just start talking about it since I like to talk. So the 12th highest bid right now in the September PWCC Premier Auction is on this 97, and actually we'll talk about 11 and 12 together. These are both 1997 Skybox EX 2001 Essential Credentials. The Jordan is serial numbered to 72. The Kobe is serial numbered to 73. The Kobe's a PSA 9. The Jordan's a BGS 8.5. The Kobe's a Pop 2 card. Both of those cards are at $75,000. Again, if you're new to PWCC, or just as a reminder, these current high bid amounts do not include the 20% buyer's premium right now. Remember, on PWCC, the seller, the consignor, does not pay any seller fees. They get whatever the high bid price is, and then they get a percentage of the 20% buyer's premium. So they get what's called the hammer, right, which is whatever the final highest bid is, plus they share and they split the 20% buyer's premium with PWCC. The ratio and the percentage split that the seller gets out of that 20% buyer's premium depends on the final sales price of the card and the agreement between PWCC and the consigning party. So those two cards are both at $75,000, which is, you know, around $90,000, I guess, if you include the 20% buyer's premium. So let's see where those two cards end. We're going to look up the final four cards, the top four on Rushmore. And again, remember, this is as of right now. So there's cards maybe not even in the top 12 that might end up being the highest selling card. I don't know if that's the case or not. I'm not looking. We're just going to look at the top 12. Next, in the 10th spot here, we've got a LeBron James 2003 X-Fractor. These were serial numbered to 220. Remember, you had the, let's see, you had the base, you had the gold, you have the black refractor to 500, you have the X-Fractor to 220. What am I forgetting? You have the gold refractor, I believe, to 50, I think. And I think that's it. Is there a superfractor? I don't know. I should probably know that, but it's so far out of my league, I don't think it's really relevant. But if you know if there's a superfractor 1 of 1, please let me know in the comments below. I don't know if there is or not. I guess I probably should, but I don't. So also at $75,000, same card. The LeBron 2003, same price as the Kobe and the Jordan that we just looked at. That is the Topps Chrome X-Fractor. And then remember, that's in a BGS 10 label. So if you want to get from 220 to a much lower pop really fast, that's one way to do it. Get that thing slabbed at a BGS 10. That's very rare in my experience from submitting to BGS over the course of my hobby career. So when you put that thing in a BGS 10 slab, that makes it even more rare than putting it in a PSA 10 slab. Obviously, the only thing more prestigious out there would be a black label, and that would be mind-blowing if that card was in a black label, of course. Next on our list is the card that we've talked about, probably the more than any other Jordan card in the market over the last 60 days, other than this new non-licensed PMG green, red, purple, yellow, pink stuff that's come out. Obviously, that's been the talk of the week, but this star card's obviously been the talk of the hobby since PSA decided they were going to start grading these 1984 star basketball cards, including the Jordan number 101 that you see on your screen. I started saying 101 because every time I would say 101, it sounds like one of one, which could be confusing to new collectors. But this is a BGS 9. It's a really good looking copy. Obviously, the centering is always the primary concern. You know, obviously men's size is the first concern, but if you get it in a slab, or even if you just have it in one of those team bags, centering is always going to be the issue. I often see the left side has a much thinner border than the right side, and therefore the centering's off, heavier right than left. But this one's at 80,000, which puts it at just under 100,000 right now. We saw what the PSA 9 did not too long ago, pushing $500,000. We know what the PSA 8s have done, beginning at the National when I think the first one was sold in a private deal. This is the BGS 9. Obviously, half the people out there are thinking, well, I could cross this to a PSA 9 and make a lot more money. And then some people are just true collectors and they're like, I'm buying the card, not the grade. There is no way I'm taking pliers anywhere near a $100,000 basketball card. But this will be an interesting card to watch to see what the star card does. Next, we've got a Luka Doncic. This is a 2020, so it's not a rookie year card. If it was, this would probably be number one on our list, even when we get up there, and you'll see there's some other monsters up there. This, if it was a rookie logo man for Luka the Don, it would be monstrous. But this is his 2020 Immaculate Collection logo man, one of one. Beautiful light blue autograph, which is really cool, really makes it pop. And, the color matching and the colorways of this card are just mesmerizing. It is a BGS 8, and that is due primarily to the surface, which got a 7.5 subgrade, but it's a 10 for the auto. It's a one-of-one masterpiece, game used patch, actually used in a game, not just bought at your nearest Walmart like some of the cards in Panini's products today. That card's at 85,000, so touching 100,000 right there. Again, remember, all of these cards are not including the buyer's premium, and they are nowhere near the end, because if you've ever been involved, or even if you've ever just paid attention, especially in these PWCC premier auctions dealing with these museum piece cards, all of the action comes in the extended bidding. All of the whales, all of the deep pockets all over the world, not just the country, the world, just want to get their bids in during this auction live period, right? And then 9 hours and 41 minutes from now, extended bidding will start, and that's when all hell breaks loose, and you'll see cards run to the moon. So the 57 Bill Russell PSA 8 is absolutely razor sharp. The centering looks phenomenal for a 57 tops. The registry looks good. The color looks good. Bill Russell looks good. He looks like a lean thoroughbred, just ready to get every rebound that comes near him. I don't know who that is that he's guarding, but he's got no chance. We know that much. This is a PSA 8 copy, clean as can be. Vintage collectors will tell you this is right up there with the best of them as far as vintage basketball cards, along with the Mike in 48, the Wilt 61, the Kareem 69, the Doc 72. This is probably, again, I'm a Wilt over a Russell guy, but this is a huge card. PSA 8 is no joke of a grade. To find one of these in PSA 8 is very rare, which is why it's in the top 8 on a PWCC monthly premier auction. So big vintage card right there. And the only vintage card in our top 12 as far as I can recall, unless you consider 1984 vintage, which I don't because I was 10 years old, which would mean I would be vintage, and I'm not. So right next to that, we got a dual auto on card. 2009 Exquisite collection, and get ready because there is going to be an Exquisite collection theme coming like you've never seen, and there's going to be a Jordan theme like you've never seen in these final 6. So 2009 Exquisite collection, Jordan Bron dual auto. It's a pop 4. It is serial numbered, not coincidentally, to 23. Both of the patches are 3 color. What does this card not have? It's just as badass as it gets. It's at 120,000 right now, which means it's at about 144,000 if I did my Cajun math right, somewhere around there. Obviously, it's not going to end there, so don't get your hopes up if you've got an extra 145 grand laying around thinking you're going to sneak in and get this. You're not. Okay, I've got bad news for you. Next to that one, we've got the I've never seen this card. Where did this card come from? No, I'm just kidding. It's a 1986 Fleer Jordan PSA 10. PWCC went ahead and put a little verbiage down here that says graded at the 2022 National Convention. And for those of you who don't really know why they would put that on there, I'll tell you why. Because there's a perception, whether true or not, that more recently graded PSA cards are in better condition than older graded PSA cards, and therefore new label PSA cards should carry a premium over old label PSA cards. I don't think that's an okay sweeping generalization. I don't like that. I can tell you that is true, but I still think you've got to look at each individual card, because there could be very old graded PSA 10 Jordans that look every bit as good, if not better, than new graded PSA 10 Jordans. But that's what PWCC is thinking here by putting that verbiage down there, just letting would-be buyers know, hey, this card was graded very recently, right? About 60 days ago, and therefore PSA put very close eyes on it. You know, Nat was there, the PSA team was there at the National. I assure you that many eyes were put on this card right here before they put it in a fresh PSA 10 slab. And I guess that means this was number 320 in the pop, or 321. I lose track. It's somewhere around there for that 86 Fleer Jordan. Anyway, it's at 150,000, which means 180,000. Lately, we've been seeing these cards hover between 200, 226, 240, something like that. Again, it shifts and swings up and down, and you just never know. We've been waiting for the card, to stabilize. I think we've seen that. I think we saw one dip below 200, maybe two. I'm not real sure, but I think the card's been real steady right at, between 200 and 240. That's as precise as I want to get, because I've said this a million times and everybody knows it. More than any other card in any other grade, in any other slab, the Jordan 86 Fleer PSA 10 really depends on the card and the eye appeal. It really, truly does. It's no different than the Bill Russells. This 8 may look better than another 8. So I'm really surprised this doesn't have a PWCC percentage sticker on it, because this is a really good looking card. Left to right centering's phenomenal, and top to bottom, from what I can see, looks really good as well. So big time card there. My guess is there's no way it's staying under 200,000. I'd be astonished if it does, but who knows? Maybe it does. And you'll notice I'm logged into my account. I am not the high bidder on any of these 12 cards. If I was, I would not be doing this video, because I would not want competition. But anyway, card number 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're going to see a theme here. 2003 Exquisite collection on 3 out of the top 4 cards as we speak. For those of you not familiar, this was the premier brand for about a 7, 8, 9 year run, whatever it was. Exquisite collection sort of took Ultimate collection and ran with it and took it to a whole preposterous new level of value. 2003 was the first year Exquisite was produced, and then we've got 3 variations of Exquisite here, 3 subsets, I should say. We've got the Exquisite Noble nameplate, we've got the Exquisite emblems of endorsement, and then in the number 1 position we have the Exquisite collection number pieces, and those are serial number 25, 15, and 23 respectively. Not high pop cards. All of them pop. Look at the patches on these cards. They're exceptional, especially on the nameplates and the emblems of endorsement. I am unfortunately, sad tear emoji face. I do not own a single Exquisite card in my entire collection, whether 2003 or beyond. I do not. I never got into it. And then by the time I realized how fascinating these cards were, they had just run too damn much. And so I've always kind of focused on my 80s and 90s Jordan stuff. And so I've kind of left this to the side. It may come back to haunt me one day. I don't know, because I'm looking at these cards and I'm like, God, why didn't I buy these cards, 4 or 5 years ago, when they were a fraction of the price? And so these cards we actually do have pulled up in Card Ladder. So the first card we have pulled up is the Noble nameplate. And these cards are so rare, I can't even pull up the exact card and the exact grade that sold. So we're just going to pull up a card that is near comps, right? We can't pull it up and say, well, here's the conclusive comp, because like I said, it's serial number to 25. It's a pop 1, and it's got an NBA gold sticker, and it's a 10-10. So there is no comp unless this particular exact serial number card sold before. You're not going to be able to find a comp. So what I've got pulled up here with the Noble nameplates is I've got a BGS 9 copy. That's the most recent copy that sold. It really wasn't long ago. It was 2 months ago, and it sold for $114,000. It had once sold for $210,000 in October of 2021. I don't know if this is sold. Yeah, there's your all-time. So somebody picked one up for $62,000 around Christmas in 2020. But the last one sold for $114,000 in a BGS 9. Remember, this is a 10-10, so this is a whole different world, right? This is for those Jordan collectors who are looking to buy a card, hold it up and say, this is the one. I've got the one. I've got the pop 1 with an NBA gold sticker. It is a 10-10. It does not get any better than the card I'm holding. So some big Kajungas are going to be chasing this card tonight. I assure you we will we will watch this card run to the extreme, especially if there's any grade snobs out there like me. PSA 1010 there. The 2003 Exquisite Emblems of Endorsement right next to it. It's a lower serial number, but this one's a Pop 5. It's a BGS 9 with a 10 for the auto. Beautiful card, millions of colors and breaks all over these patches, despite the fact it's a relatively small patch window on each. Let's pull this one up in Card Ladder. We've got it right here. Again, it's not in the database. It just doesn't sell often enough to justify the folks at Card Ladder putting it in the database. It's just too rare of a card. The last two of this card have sold on Golden in August of 2021 and then on PWCC Premier in July of 2021. So over a year for both of those sales. 511,000 for the Pop 1 BGS 9.5 and then 360,000. This one was just authentic PSA 10. Authentic 10, and it sold for 360,000 a year ago. This one is a BGS 910, which I gotta believe is gonna be more valuable than the PSA Authentic 10. That's just my guess. I didn't look closely to see if it could have been. I guess it could have been the same card and somebody could have cracked that card. I guess we should always look just to make sure. No, it's serial number 9 out of 15, and the one we're looking at serial number 4 out of 15. So I would suspect a BGS 9 would be more valuable than a PSA Authentic, but I guess it just depends on the day of the week and the week of the month and the month of the year, and then the people that are bidding on it and whether they prefer BGS or PSA holders, and then they make their decision with a BGS 9 versus PSA Authentic from there. But that's at 220. Again, that's pushing $250,000. That's over $250,000 right there. So you're looking at 2 Teslas or that Emblems of Endorsement. So make your choice. I got a 2003 Topps Chrome LeBron. So LeBron sneaks into the Rushmore. It's not just MJ. It's MJ Light with LeBron James. This card is a PSA 9. It's the Topps Chrome Gold Refractor. We just talked about his Topps Chrome, the base and then the different parallels. This is the gold, so this is the Big Daddy. It's serial numbered to 50. It's a Pop 9. It's a PSA 9. It is a little bit, obviously the 9, I'm guessing, because the corners and the edges look really sharp to me. It's hard to tell surface on a card, but again, remember in PWCC, and I'll just show you guys, you can always click on the card and then they've got a video of every card. You just go on here and you just click and then you can watch a video. Let me try to squeeze forward for you guys. And then they kind of talk through it. They tell you about the card. You've got an asset description over here on the right where you can read all about the card, where it came from, the provenance of the card, as people like to say. But man, that card just pops just looking at this video. This is special, man. And that's one of the really cool things about these PWCC auctions is that you can go in here and just learn and dive in and learn about the cards. You don't have to buy the card. Like if you just want to know more about 2003 Exquisite, just click on the card and go watch the video. You're going to hear all about it, right? Just educate yourself, understand the hobby better. This is a great opportunity to do that on cards that none of us will probably ever own. I don't speak for everybody, but I probably won't own any of these 4 cards. So that card's at 220. That's again over $250,000. When you put in the 20% buyer's premium, that pushes it over $260,000. Big time card, big boy card there. In Card Ladder, I pulled up the last PSA 10. And oh my dear, this is going to make you want to take a time machine. So the PSA 10 sold for $400 in 2006, and the last sale was $1.2 million. Yes, you heard me right. It is up 296,000% over the last. I'm looking over here to see if my son's listening to this while he's shipping some stuff on eBay. Cam, this card in 2006 sold for $400. It sold earlier this year for $1.2 million. It's up 296,000%. Is that even a percent? I don't even understand it. It's so many numbers I don't understand. So it's going to go for a big number. It's not going to meet or match, the sale price of the PSA 10. But Card Ladder, the PSA 9 hasn't sold enough. We can look at the BGS 9 and get an idea of what might happen. The last BGS 9 sold, 12 days ago. Let's see where that sold. 12 days ago, the BGS 9 sold on Golden for $270. The PSA 9 on PWCC Premier is at $260 with 9.5 hours to go. Yes, 9.5 hours. You're running out of time to win this gold refractor LeBron PSA 9. So we know this one's going to push way past that BGS 9 that just sold on Golden, as we would expect the PSA 9 would, because the hobby has pretty much made it very clear PSA 9 trumps BGS 9 regardless of the subgrades on the BGS. And then in the number 1 position, but it's really a tie here, a 3-way tie for number 1 and really very close to number 4. And number 5 is a little dip for that Jordan Fleer, is the 2003 Exquisite Collection number piece autograph Jordan. It's a minimum gem, but good Lord, look at the autograph. It is a BGS 10 auto on the back. This is a Pop 2 card, serial number to 23. It's also at $260,000. Here you go. You can see on the back it is a 10 for the auto, so everybody can relax. And then you've got an asset description for the card, and it talks about the history of the card, and there's all kinds of stuff that you can just glean, information you can glean. PWCC really does put thought behind these little blurbs describing the card, the videos showing you the card. They really do put some serious thought behind this stuff, guys. So I encourage you to go check it out and go click on it. Even if you're not in the market to buy this $260,000 card, you can go learn more about the different sets and the different parallels and things like that, and educate yourself in the hobby. And hopefully that's it. Okay, so there you go. Jordan, LeBron, Jordan and LeBron, Bill, Luka, Jordan, LeBron, Jordan, and then Kobe sneaks in at the number 12 spot. So that's what's happening, guys, in the PWCC September premiere auction. It ends tonight in 9 hours. I will not be sitting here biting my fingernails because I don't have any dog in this hunt. I will say, I will let a little cat out of the bag. I have a bid in on a pretty big card. It's not a Jordan. It's not a LeBron. I will let you guys figure out what it is, and I will obviously get to the office crazy early tomorrow because you guys have come to expect the best from me, and I want to give the best to you. So I will be doing a PWCC Premier Auction recap, which will be, let me go back up here, 162 cards. I've got 162. There's 162 basketball cards in this PWCC Premier Auction. You will get a 162 card recap tomorrow morning on Friday, September 23rd from Brian at Cajun Cardboard. As you've always come to expect, you'll find that recap video before noon on the Luka Nation Network. So you're watching this on the Cajun Cardboard channel. It's a little preview of the top 12 cards, but you'll get the Mac Daddy, the big time recap showing you this final sales price and tons of card ladder comparisons so we can see what the market's doing on these big time cards. We'll look at what's gone up, what's gone down, what surprised, what didn't, and then I'll always encourage and solicit comments from the audience to let me know what you saw that I didn't see, and let me know if I say anything stupid, because I can't become an expert on every one of these 162 cards, so I need your help. And so anyway, you guys stay tuned to the Luka Nation Network for Cajun Cardboard content. Keep subscribing to this channel because I've got tons more coming on both channels in the near and distant future. Always reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram or on Facebook. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the kind messages and kind Facebook messages and Instagram messages and the comments where people are congratulating me on the new combination and joint effort with the Luka Nation Network. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that were a blend of listening to me and like to listen to them, and now they get the best of both worlds in the same location. But appreciate you guys watching. As always, enjoy your Thursday. Can't wait for Friday morning to see what happens with these whales. Keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.